Golf mates, welcome down to another lesson with our swing guru, Simon Edwards. What I am going to say, I have been looking forward to this one for a long time. We talked about this before we come out here to Summer Bay, and it's Tommy Fleetwood's drill. Now, a lot of you don't know, this drill, if it's good enough for Tommy Fleetwood, it's certainly good enough for me, yourself, and all you lot watching.
100%.
What does this help?
So, we find through the comments and in our golf mates community that a lot of people struggle with being over the top. Yeah? So everybody hits it, either pulls it left or hits weak shots out to the right. This is going to give us a perfect example of how to hit every shot, whether it's a straight shot, a slide fade shot, or a draw shot. So we're going to get all the golf mates to get the idea of what the correct swing shape looks like.
And does this give you instant feedback?
This gives you... Or if you get this wrong, this is why the bottle of water's sitting there. Because if we get this wrong, again, golf mates at the range use a head cover or a golf club box or something. Otherwise, you've got bottles of water down your range. But the bottle of water is vital.
Right, let me get out of here and leave this to you, because I think they're going to love this. Because I'm going to watch this, and if I've got a question, do you mind if I just
jump in?
Because I'm going to love this.
Always, because it's so important. Tommy Fleetwood, one of the greatest ball strikers in the game today, one of the greatest Ryder Cup players in the game today. Worked with a coach called Alan Thompson. Alan's a great friend of mine and just did brilliant work with Tommy from when he was a junior. And one of their favourite drills was to get him to understand the importance of path and plane to create solid strike quality and to keep that club face really square through impact. So again, if you've watched some of the stuff that we talked about in the past about swing plane, ideally you would set up a practice station like so. So we'd have a drill stick representing the target line, a drill stick representing the plane line, and something on the outside of the golf ball, not too close. We've got a bottle of water today, but like I say, golf club box doesn't really matter. So what we know going away from the golf ball, and this is the way Tommy does it, because the greatest players in the world start with a neutral ball flight and then they work the shape after they can hit it relatively straight. So the drill that Tommy does is he works backwards from great posture with great arm pressure, great setup, is as he works backwards, the left arm would push the club over the pole and to a point where it matches his hands. So that would be a perfectly in plane first position. We call that P2.
Simon, what's P2? Is that position?
P2 is shaft parallel.
Okay.
Yeah, so when the club is shaft parallel in the backswing, the club should be in line with your hands and the face will be square to the swing plane. And we can see that from the other angle where the drill stick is perpendicular to that drill stick. Now, what Tommy does brilliantly well, and if you've ever seen him at a tour event, Tommy would hit our P2 position, which is shaft parallel, our P3 position where the club shaft matches the drill stick, and then he would come back over it to P6. So what that does, that makes his path incredibly straight through that golf ball, because the plane, the differential between the plane is so minimal. He's pretty much swinging it up and down the same line. So if the plane is pretty similar, the path is going to be really straight. So what that would create, nice and slowly, is a pretty straight golf shot. As you can see, the water bottle is pretty safe, because what most of us do is we would go under the pole and then the over the top move, which is over the pole, and we'd end up burying, as Liam does, we'd be burying the club head into that bottle of water. It gives you a real incentive to swing the club on the same line, because we don't want to see that water bottle flying everywhere. So that would create a theoretically straight golf shot. Now, if we're going to draw that, we're going to do something slightly different, because all we're going to do, because we know 75% of where the ball starts with an iron club is where the face points at impact. The rest of it's done with the path. So, for a draw, we'd aim slightly more to the right, relative to the target line. We'd still swing the club over the pole going back. We'd still match the pole at P3, but this time we'd get the club to swing under the pole just by letting that lead arm slide down the chest. Now we can see this club's attacking the ball slightly more from the inside relative to that target line. The face is open to the target line, but because the path is to the right, the face is left of the path. Okay, to hit a draw, golf mates, and this is where a lot of confusion comes. People think the face is closed to the target line. It never is. Yeah, the face is just closed to the path being the horizontal direction at the moment of impact. So if we're going to hit a draw shape into this left to right wind today, we'd go over it, we'd go under it, and we'd start to the right and ever so gently draw that. You can still see the bottle's completely safe. I've not hit the bottle or the drill stick. So this is a brilliant, brilliant drill for you to work on at the range for either a straight golf shot, over it, back over it in the same position and let it go, or a little draw shape, which would be over it, under it, so the great thing about this drill, you can go and practice in exactly the same way that one of the best players in the world practice. If you practice like the best players in the world practice, your game, golf mates, has got to improve ready for this new 2024 season.